the other day, one of our guys that works for us, one of our executives, his daughter, oldest daughter, goes to school, and she comes after school, finishing college, 4 years, and she can't stand the dad's philosophies. He says, we had dinner, and I'm like, why is my daughter, whom I raised, so against me? Why does she hate me so much?
Because you sent her to an Ivy League school.
Hate these the philosophies I have so much. And he sat there and he's like, man, I don't know how. And as a parent, this is a fear because you don't want to lose your kids. You love these guys. This is an emotional thing. Parents today fear, am I one day going to lose my kids? My kids go to school. You guys know where they go to. Mm-hmm. And the best school in Florida is right across the street. Everybody knows what the best school in Florida is. But that best school in Florida is not one that's teaching conservative philosophy. So in my mind, I'm like, at what age do I consider allowing the kids, because it's under my control till 18, at what age do you want to be comfortable to send them there that anything can be taught? It's not, they're not praying. They ain't sitting there talking about God. They ain't sitting there talking about certain values and principles. Go at it, right? Yeah. They can teach anything they want to teach your kids. Well, communism is an option. Socialism is an option. You can marry whoever you want to be. If that person's a he, she, whatever. All this stuff is confusing to a young kid that's going through it, right? But here's what I'm convinced. Here's what I'm convinced. Years ago, I'm sitting with a guy that's raised great kids, Dudley, big fan, big mentor in my life. Ran the biggest church in LA, and we're sitting down, and I said, listen, give me tips on parenting. And, he was going through something with his son at the time. He said, there's 3 phases parents go through. First, your kids idolize you. Then they demonize you. Then they humanize you. It's a phase. And a phase when parents go through demonizing, it sucks. It absolutely sucks because you're like, am I ever going to get these guys? Because you did something wrong as a parent. Just a matter of time before you screw up. It doesn't matter. You're going to screw up as a parent, right? He says, then eventually it's humanizing. Okay, so take that philosophy and bring it to capitalism, okay? You're a kid. Who do you admire? The lifestyle of the rich and famous. You're like, oh, man, one day, dude, I'd love to have that life. How cool would it be if one day, Mom, I'm going to buy you a house, Mom. I'm telling you, I'm going to buy you a house. Dad, I'm going to buy you that Ferrari you want. How many kids have spoken like that, right? And then you go to school, and the teacher says, rich people are bad. All they do is they treat their employees like slaves, and this is what they do for their own. And they sit home, and they got these big bellies, and they make their money, and their employees are doing the work, and they're golfing. And the kids are like, these are horrible people. Oh, my gosh, I hate rich people, Mom. They're terrible. And then they come out of college hating capitalists and rich people. And then they go to school, and then they go get a job. And all of a sudden, somebody gets a promotion over them who, for whatever reason, was a better ass kisser, was closer, was a better friend or whatever, but you're doing harder work, and that person gets the promotion over you. And then you're 28 years old, and now you're making $78,000, and you have to pay $13,000 in taxes, and you're sitting there saying, this shit doesn't make sense. What the hell is this all about? And eventually you say, maybe these capitalists are not that bad. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I think we're about to go through the humanizing phase of people that are creating jobs. I think you're about to go through the humanizing phase to sit there and realize these principles kind of make sense. And eventually that 12% that runs America is going to figure it out and say, you know what? I'm kind of going to go to freedom, not going towards control. I think that's what's going to be taking place.
Well, I got a theory on it. I mean, I've thought about this a lot, right? So think about, there's 2 aspects of it. Who becomes a teacher, who becomes a writer, who becomes a professor? Pretty intelligent people, but they don't make a lot of money. So they become very resentful into the system because here I am, I went to school after school, and then I went to school after school, and I've got all these degrees and I have all this education, but I'm making 60 grand a year. Meanwhile, the plumber, who while I was studying was partying on Friday nights, is making 200 grand a year, and he didn't go to college. You know what I mean? This guy, the truck driver, is making 150 grand a year. So they're resentful of the system in that because they think they should get paid for who they are, not for what they offer. And that's a big thing that people mess up. You don't get paid for what you like to do unless you're literally the best in the world at it. Adam, you're very good at basketball, but you're not getting paid for it because you're not one of literally the best 300 in the world at it, right? So you have to be able to offer services. You can pave the driveway of one of those guys that makes, that kind of money playing basketball and do a real good life for yourself because that guy doesn't want to pave his own driveway. You have to be able to offer value. If you're not the best in the world at something, you have to be able to offer value to the best in the world. That's number 1. Number 2, we go to school and we learn all about the victories of government. Think about it. We learn about how government saved the world in this war. We learned about how government saved.
Well, history is written by the winners.
Exactly,
so.
right? So government's great with the Civil Rights Act. Government is great. Let's not talk about how government implemented slavery. Let's talk about how government stopped slavery. Like, you get all the wins of government. So here we are. They're preaching this the egalitarian system where, you know, your merit based on your education is what you should get paid on, not the work that you do or your willingness to do work. It's just how educated you are, how smart you are. And look at how great government is. So these kids come out saying government's great. Why wouldn't you want to pay taxes? This is how we do things. And then you grow up into the real world. And this is the whole thing with my libertarian philosophy. This is almost every libertarian that I know. It's like, dude, just show your work. You want more taxes. Nobody wants to drive on decrepit roads and bad bridges. Show what you do with the money. Because right now, you took $3 trillion and gave us $1,200. And nothing changed. Everything got worse. There's empty shelves. There's I just went to buy furniture at City Furniture. Nothing is there until the end of March. This is the United States of America.
Yeah.
I got nothing to the end of March. You've got empty shelves. Somehow there's Valentine's Day candy, but there's nothing else. I have no idea how that works. So we gave you guys $3 trillion. And where's that money? And you want more of it. See, that's the thing that the left never answers for. You always want more. If $3 trillion couldn't fix it, then $6 trillion. Your boy Robert Reich, more. Can you just show your work with what you're doing now? Can you just at least once prove that the money we gave you was worth something?
Yeah.
Before you ask for more? I mean, it's insane.
I think you can only do that for so long. I don't think you can. That philosophy is sustainable.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.